Well, there we go. Good afternoon, everybody. James and I have been talking to you for this entire time here. Hopefully, you've enjoyed the graphics. But well, for some reason, the audio was not playing nicely on Facebook or on YouTube. We've got that issue resolved. Let's take a look at your starting lineup as we get ready to roll off here for round number 2 of the Spec Corvette Series. Heading off onto the racetrack in the starting grid for today will be Mark LaCourte lining up alongside John Wynn. A gap of 1.5 seconds between the Sun Valley and Trabuco Canyon, California natives. Mark LaCourte is on a different planet right now when it comes to hustling around one of these Spec Corvette machines. Row number 2 will have Tony Jimerson and Donnie York. Row number 3 will be Fairfield, California's Kevin Jones, lining up alongside the 07 of Darren Griffith. Row number 4 will have John Simon out of West Covina, California, lining up alongside Corona, California's David Holmes. And on the 5th and final row will be AP Miranda, lining up alongside San Marcos, California's Patrick Howe in the number 44. Howe is missing third gear in that car. I don't want to try to drive one of these things that way around here, James. That just sounds like not a lot of fun to try to, quite frankly, try to hustle one of these cars under those kind of conditions.
No, it's crazy. I don't even know how he's that competitive. Like, it's such a disadvantage missing a gear. You know, like, you're kind of using third gear a lot. So I don't know how he's able to keep up with no third gear.
Maybe a start and park situation today, honestly, for Patrick Howe, but we'll see as things go here. John Wynn in the upper left-hand corner alongside John Simon. Middle box is going to have Kevin Jones and Tony Jimerson, Patrick Howe and Darren Griffith. On the bottom 3 boxes, 6 in-car cameras as the field is getting stacked up too wide. Getting ready to roll off here, and man, this one's going to be fun. I cannot wait for another day of Spec Corvette racing. As the green flag goes in the air, we are underway once again. Looks like a significantly cleaner start this time. We'll bring you up, show you all 6. Oh, there's a little contact!
Famous last word.
Tony Jimerson, the hitman, making a little bit of contact there with the 63. Let's see, let's pick up Tony's onboard here. So we are on board with Tony Jimerson. Just ahead of him, that was the 63 of Donnie York that the contact was made with. Absolutely love the screaming of these Corvette motors.
Oh, I know, man. They just make you feel all types of things.
Stirring things up inside, as you might say. Let's see. We'll slide up here now and pick up. Let's see who our closest battle that we're going to be able to look at is. Unfortunately, it looks like we may have lost camera of Kevin Jones, but let's see here. Let's take up and pick up Darren Griffith in the performance insurance benefits on board. I would imagine, James, a lot. These guys go through quite a bit of. Yesterday was kind of a mess. Let's at least get the start clean, and then we can discuss, kind of racing each other. Once everybody's single file, you know who's behind you, you know who's in front of you, and then you can kind of start to work out who's the quicker cars. And you're going to race hard, but you're not going to race recklessly.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yesterday is kind of an aberration. These guys have raced each other for a long time. They know each other. They know their tendencies. They know how they're going to act. So So I imagine the script for everyone isn't going to be too much different to how it normally is. Just, chalk up yesterday as a one-time incident. We've been broadcasting this for a while, and we've seen these guys in these scraps before.
Let's take a look here and go. Oh, man. Already sliding out all over the place. Let's pick up Patrick Howell's onboard camera. The Shazebo Shade Sails on board for the San Marcos, California native. I think for today we'll kind of bring up timing and scoring on and off as the show goes here. This covers too much of the screen when we have to show the whole box that way. Big dive up the inside. Hal. He is running 19th on the field. That was Kevin Jones and AP Miranda battling here towards the back of the pack. Good fight there.
Yeah, maybe for the little time scoring box, maybe what we could do like they used to do for F1 back in the early 2000s is just make it pop up for a lap, they cross the start finish line, and then take it back.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. We'll get everybody across the line. You'll be able to see where each of the drivers are, and then we'll go from there. Interesting today, the gap seems to be a little bit bigger. Mark LaCourte has not yet caught any of the other GT class cars. So by adding a little bit of space here, the Spec Corvettes are going to kind of be racing amongst themselves. And you see here out of the front window of Darren Griffith's machine, we've got 5 cars that are all nose to tail. That's Griffith, John Simon, Kevin Jones, AP Miranda, and Patrick Howell. At the head of the field, it's going to be Mark LaCourte, Donnie York, and Tony Jimerson, your top 3. Let's go on board here and pick up Tony Jimerson's on board as he's trying to chase down that 63 of Donnie York. That's going to be the battle for second in this race. Mark LaCourte already gone. 6.46 seconds. The gap to second place, Donnie York, as they come across the start-finish line. In fact, LaCourte already passing one of the AS class cars.
Yeah, I know we were talking about it earlier, but it's nice to see Patrick out there not doing the start and park. Like, he's still up at the fray, even missing that gear.
Yeah, he's losing a little bit of time now, but kind of what you would expect here is Jimerson looking to get around Donnie York. That's going to be a pass for second. Oh, I love it. Crest the hill, grab a gear, and just let that V8 absolutely scream. So back on board here with Darren Griffith. Wow, one of these cars, one of the GT cars, just absolutely screaming fast. Tony Jimerson that time, and he gone too, man.
Yeah, he is absolutely set sail.
We'll go on board now with, well, actually, let's hold up here. We'll kind of ride along with Darren Griffith here for just a moment.
Yeah, Griffith, he's got an excellent shot of the action.
Yeah, got a great look at the action. Oh, man. John Wynn has to slide way out wide, and he's got the 71 of David Holmes just ahead of him as well. This is where you start to get a little bit frustrated behind the wheel. If you're Holmes and John Wynn, you could end up losing a position just because the cars in front of you aren't necessarily making way for a faster class car.
Yeah, it's the most frustrating thing you can deal with. It's just like, come on, guys, use your head. Come on, what are we doing here? And the desperation level starts to increase with every lap in this situation.
That time by Mark LaCourte opening up the gap to Tony Jimerson to over 10 seconds, 10.167 at the start-finish line. But then it's all really tight. Jimerson, Donnie York, David Holmes, John Wynn, Darren Griffith, all within 1.2 seconds of each other. In fact, Darren Griffith right up the rear end of John Wynn that time by. And this is 2, 3, 4, 5 in class that we're watching here. Seeing the comment asking about a Twitch stream. If you guys are interested, we can put these up to Twitch. Normally, I think of that as like a gaming platform, but I'm definitely on board with putting those out to Twitch. Quite frankly, the numbers just aren't as good on Twitch. There's not as many people see. But we're definitely down with putting up a Twitch feed as well. Interesting to hear, Patrick, or Jake, gosh, why do I keep doing that? James, that off-throttle time that we're getting from Darren Griffith, it's almost like you're backing up the corner to really have the great drive off. That's what's going to set up the pass down the next straightaway.
Yeah, when you're in a train like this, it's really easy to catch up to the cars ahead on corner entry. You know, you're able to kind of carry a little more speed in because the other cars are being held up by, well, the other cars. So you try to use that to your advantage. That's what you try to take an earlier entry, get on it, or slow down a little earlier and try to maximize your exit. And with them being held up, try to see if you can use that as a slingshot. You know, using the not bad situation, but you know, irritating situation you're in your advantage.
Well, and in a statement of the obvious, John Wynn sent me a message saying the car was super loose in the rear yesterday. Yeah, he had a monster handful. Man, I'll tell you what, he's still got a handful of a race car here. Made some shock adjustments to tighten the rear up a bit and put a better set of used tires on as the rears were bald mid-race. That one doesn't surprise me either. You get those rear wheels spun up loose on corner exit, you're just going to eat the rubber off of these things.
Yeah, like turned the track into a cheese grater with all that. Like, it was power sliding like it was a drift course.
Let's take a look here, see who else we can go on board with. Let's pick up... Well, let's give you a look from Patrick Howell's on board. Headed out towards the back of the pack here. Yeah, you can hear it. Just that car does not want to get up and move, having to go from second to fourth gear.
Yeah, it's finally starting to affect his pace. He was doing an admirable job at the beginning of the race, keeping up with everybody, but yeah, bound to be head eventually. Oh, we got.
Oh, here we go. Move. I was gonna say we've got a BMW flying past both Darren Griffith and John Wynn.
And Darren almost used it to his advantage.
I was gonna say
almost able to slip through.
I got this. I got this. I got this. I don't got this.
I don't got this. Yeah, like that's the best thing you can do is, as a slower class car, or when you're dealing with someone coming up to lap you and you're in a battle, use it to your advantage pretty easily. Just the other car ahead is letting the faster car go. It's like, oh, don't mind if I hide behind and
Whoa! We got one going around right in front of John Simon. My goodness. That's
I
a
think
piece
that
of
was one of the
avoidance.
GT
Simon.
cars. I think it was.
Yeah,
one of the
look at that.
GT
The
cars
fist
that-
bump. John Simon going, yeah, I didn't hit him.
Yeah, all I saw was smoke and that giant ass spoiler going through the air.
Let's go back on board here with Darren Griffith. Passing slower class cars at the same time trying to catch John Wynn. Looking to see from some of the marshal posts. I don't see any yellow flags on the racetrack right now. They're already down to 8 laps to go, and here's one of the things that really is interesting. It kind of plays with how these guys have to run the race from a strategy standpoint. The schedule says 30 minutes or 16 laps. However, Michael Lewis in the GT1 is the overall leader, and he has a lap on just about everybody in the field. He's going to run 16 laps. These Spec Corvette guys are not going to run 16 laps. They're going to run however many laps they get to when the leader takes the checkered flag. You have to kind of put it in the back of your head, like, I don't have 16 laps to get these passes made. I have to do this significantly quicker.
Yeah, you're almost having to do math in your head while driving, while keeping an eye on the other cars, trying to figure out how many laps you are going to be doing. Like, I imagine there's going to be doing 15 laps. Like, you've got to do a couple quick calculations here and there to make sure that, yeah, no, you're timing it right. You're not thinking, oh, I got an extra lap at 15 and checker flies on lap 14. You're like, welp.
Anareel is our buddy 90210 on our Twitch streams, putting up suggestions for content. Quite frankly, I love. We will discuss those on Monday night during our Silver Crown broadcast. That will be coming up tomorrow night. The iRacing Silver Crown Cup. Absolute beast of a cars. If you like this stuff, you're probably, and the way we present a race anyway, you're probably going to enjoy our iRacing content as well. Monday nights we have the Silver Crowns. Most Tuesday nights, Indy Pro 2000 cars. Wednesdays we have NASCAR Cup Series cars. Thursdays we do a quadruple header of sorts. We do a double header in the afternoon of vintage F1 cars, followed by US Open Wheel Ladder Series cars on Thursday nights. Friday, vintage IMSA machinery, Nissan GTPs and Audi 90s doing multi-class racing. A lot of talent. It's not the real world thing, but it's still pretty fun content to keep an eye on here. The battle you're watching on screen is John Wynn, Darren Griffith, David Holmes in the 71. Also, Donnie York is just up ahead of John Wynn. These guys are still all within like a second of each other. I'll tell you what, James, these switchbacks that we just saw Darren go through here, these are the ones that are tough to kind of work your way through in the Spec Corvette, because we talked about it's not, the nimble GT car or anything. It's kind of lumbering, and you kind of just have to kind of pitch it and get it to the point where you want it to go as the car makes its way through the corners.
Yeah, and with the power these things make, and with their demonstrated lack of handling ability, you got to be really careful on the throttle going over it, because you're taking all the low load off the car going over the crest. It's so easy to just flip it a little too hard and you're really kicking out, going full John Wynn sideways. So you really got to make sure that you're patient on the throttle and waiting to get on it at the right time. For what it's worth, they seem to be getting through those switchbacks and those S's a lot better than you'd expect from a Corvette.
Full John Wynn sideways might be my favorite line of the broadcast season. I'll tell you what, Griffith really made a big jump there to get up alongside of Wynn, but then he had to back out of it. Because again, you have to make sure you do this without contact. This is not, NASCAR rubbins racing and doing pro wrestling stuff. It's really important for these guys, and it's a pride thing as much as anything else. They make these passes clean.
Yeah, like the desire to send it is always there and make a little scrape or two, but it's just frowned upon. So it's the toughest thing is you have to weigh how much do you really want it and what are you willing to do to get it, and what you can do is limited by the rules and the overall flow of the series. Oh, but he's just so close. Oh, man.
Yeah, Patrick Howell trying to get himself up here to Kevin Jones, who wants to make that pass. AP Miranda was like right behind Howell as well. So this could be a 2-for-1 deal as we are down to 5 laps to go here at Buttonwillow. And you can hear that car is just so low in the rev range. And that's where Jones is able to take off because it's a third gear corner and you're kind of stuck between having screaming in second or be at the bottom of the rev range.
Yeah, I'm just watching Darren feed. It looks like him and John got through a lap car, and that made things really interesting going through the turn 1 complex.
Let's take a look and go back to Darren Griffith's on board here. You'll notice John Wynn is still just up ahead. What I don't see is the 63 of Donnie York. Looks like York is able to open up about a 1.2 second gap. While these guys were fighting it, that's a perfect example of two cars start fighting and the guys in front and behind them that are running single file are just going to go faster.
That's the best thing you can see if you're the cars behind or the car up front. And it's a huge advantage to you when those cars are just going at it. Man, Darren seems to make up so much time on the entry of 1. It looks like he takes kind of a little more shallower entry into the corner. And because that, he's able to just maximize his entry speed and to turn that into advantage corner exit.
Just seeing Patrick Howell able to get around Kevin Jones. That shows you how far these cars will pitch. When the camera turns vertical instead of horizontal, you're getting the thing kind of pitched. The roll axis is a little bit crazy.
First, you auto rotate.
In too. We tell them to turn that off, but that doesn't always work. Let's pick up on board here with John Wynn for just a moment here because you're going to see well, that looks like another it's either another Spec Corvette or let's see. think that's Tony Jimerson. All right, back to Darren Griffith's on board here.
Go figure, we go back to Darren's and John's camera starts working again.
That is correct. Let's see. Oh, man. John Wynn slides way wide.
Yeah, he tried to avoid smacking into the rear of the Corvette in front of him. Ooh, there's the send. This has to be for position.
I would think so. Let's see his timing and scoring updates. Yeah, that's Tony Jimerson just ahead of John Wynn. This is second, third, and fourth on the racetrack, all in line. Griffith overcooks the corner just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a shame. He didn't lose too much time on it, though. That's a relief for him. But yeah, you just saw the car just did not want to grip up on entry.
Back on board here with John Wynn. That's Tony Jimerson just out in front of Wynn's number 155. The camera and data logger doing just enough blocking of the view out front that we lose sight of Jimerson. Good. Now down to 3 laps to go. And Michael Lewis, the GT1, he's off the racetrack. That's going to put Ian Barbieri in GT2 up in the race lead. Where that makes a difference is Lewis was a full lap ahead of the field, so this is going to buy everybody else an extra lap.
Wow, I wonder what happened.
And
wow,
John Wynn
Tony's
is
just fighting it. I was saying Tony is just fighting that thing. He's got John right up on him. Oh, there's a bobble.
And you can hear Darren really has to back off the throttle. As the bobble happens in front of him, he's got to get way off the throttle. Let's go back on board with John Wynn here, down the front straightaway. Seems like we lose John in a couple of different places here. Turn that one back off. Oh, man, now we've got, it looks like a Mustang, one of the GT2 class cars. That's now going to play a role because Darren Griffith is caught up behind this Mustang. Oh, and a great pass by John Wynn outside of Tony Jimerson.
Wow, he just barely slipped through.
Go on board now with Tony Jimerson. The AT Mechanical on board. And I'll tell you what, John Wynn made no waste of time in getting that car out to about a 3-4 car length advantage here in the battle for second. GT2 getting around Jimerson now.
John gives a nice little wave to the Mustang on through.
Oh, Jimerson's off the racetrack. Jimerson slides wide off into the dirt. Gets the car back on the racetrack, but losing a ton of ground. Oh man, that did not sound good on that gearbox either.
Now this is interesting. That works out great for Darren. He doesn't have to worry about getting by Tony. So he's got a decent gap up front to John now. We can see truly how much faster Darren is. Because now he has a little bit of breathing room, a little bit of leg space. He can try to see if he can catch back up to John.
And we're seeing, looks to be the white flag has flown. We're seeing 1 lap to go on timing and scoring. Mark McCourt by 18 seconds over John Wynn. Darren Griffith.
Oh, Tony's off again. Tony, just overcooked it on the exit of 1 and had to save it, but saved it off the track a little bit.
let's pick up, this battle is not all that close. Let's pick up this one with Patrick Howe. He has AP Miranda just ahead of him on the racetrack. Howe has 6.8 seconds last time by the start-finish line over Kevin Jones. And Miranda is not that far ahead as checkered flag will fly on the racetrack. Let's see. Let's grab Darren Griffith here one more time because this is the battle for second. That's John Wynn just ahead. Oh man, Griffith is in every bit of the racetrack.
They're both sideways off the corner.
Onto the front straightaway for the final time underneath the checkered flag, and John Wynn going to pick up second. Darren Griffith third. David Holmes coming home in the fourth position. Tony Jimerson doing a very nice job. He passes the start-finish line. That's going to put him fifth overall. He will be followed. Well, how about it? Patrick Howe and AP Miranda going to war here. Here's John Simon just coming over the start-finish line. He will finish today in fifth. Off that final quarter, AP looks like he's going to hold off. Patrick Howe, AP Miranda. Patrick Howe, and rounding out the field here of cars still running on the racetrack will be the 39 of Kevin Jones, the 63 of Donnie York going off the racetrack a couple of laps ago. That 63 machine will round out the field, but unfortunately don't have the onboard with Mark LaCourte today, so we'll go back to John Wynn. And let's bring up the, go to the graphics here and we'll blow up the race results a little bit for you so you can see who is who and where they finished today's race. Mark LaCourte getting the win, third overall. And number one in the Spec Corvettes. John Wynn and Darren Griffith going to round out the podium. David Holmes, Tony Jimerson back through the fifth position, followed home by John Simon, AP Miranda, Patrick Howe, Kevin Jones, and Donnie York to round out the field here today. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you what, James, a fantastic show once again by these guys in the Spec Corvettes. This one was all the way around just a blast.
Yeah, this series is so underrated. It puts up some really great racing. Like from green to checkers, you had serious action going on every lap. And that's all you can ask from a racing series, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just a ton of fun all the way around. Got to say a huge thank you to everybody who helps make these shows possible. Nankang Motorsport Tires, the presenting sponsor of the Spec Corvette Series. You can find them at nankangmotorsport.com. Penske Shocks, Willwood Brakes, Track Spec Motorsports, Improved Racing, Turn 1 Steering, Sparco, G-Stream Aerodynamics, and TPS Motorsports. Thank you all very much for your support of the Spec Corvette Series. And man, I'll tell you what, James, this was everything we were hoping for, quite frankly.
Yes, sir. That 2, 3, 4 battle was just absolutely incredible. And clean. Not a smidge of contact between the lot of them.
Yeah, that's probably one of the things that I was most impressed with. Even just that little bit of a kiss at the start of this race, that was more of a, hey, I'm here. not a I'm going to hit you, move you, damage cars, whatever. That was impressive. Next broadcast
Yeah,
here on the National Racing Network for the Spec Corvette Series will be from Arizona Motorsports Park coming up the weekend of April 22nd and 23rd, followed by Willow Springs in the month of May. Hopefully, we can get something in the interwebs sorted out for that one. Laguna Seca in July, right before the Independence Day weekend. Miller Independence Day holiday, I should say. This race occurring July 1st and 2nd. Miller Motorsports Park to round out the month of July, and Sonoma, California, August 19th and 20th. Whole lot coming up here on the iRacing side of things on the National Racing Network. We ran through the schedule a little bit earlier in the broadcast for you. Make sure you ring the bell, do the likes and the subscribes and all that kind of stuff here, and that will get you the best of iRacing and real-world racing content right here on NRN. But with that, James, anything else you want to add in here before we let the viewers back to their Sunday afternoon?
nope. All I gotta say is just tune in tomorrow, next week, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Check out the socials. You can find us on everywhere but Twitter at National Racing Network. On Twitter, we are at DNRN TV. With that, time for us to get the heck on out of here. As always, a fantastic show put on by the stars and cars of the Spec Corvette Series. Some drama yesterday, some great racing action today. You don't want to miss any of it coming up here next month. We're looking forward to bringing all of it to you. For James Watson and everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. We'll talk to you all tomorrow night for the Silver Crowns. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.